Monday, March 8th, 2021, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Today we're going to look at the gold-silver ratio to see how manipulated silver is. It is the most controlled or manipulated metal or asset, for that matter, in my opinion, in the world. There's nothing that's been as manipulated and suppressed as the price of silver. And they've been doing it, the powers that be, since 1933, I would say, when they basically banned gold ownership and then revalued the price of gold in 1934 from $20.67 an ounce to $35. Silver, of course, was not banned domestically. The silver coinage stayed the same up until 1964, of course, and then they took the silver out of the coinage past that date. But if you look, I did a little experiment. If you take a Morgan dollar, this one is from 1881. There you go. There's a Morgan dollar, 1881, and you take a $20 gold piece from 1904, and an ounce of gold should be $20.67. But let's make it the $20 here. Do the little experiment. I weighed both, particular the $1 silver Morgan, and it's not an ounce of gold. It's less than an ounce of gold. So if it's 0.77 of an ounce. If you convert it into an ounce, a troy ounce basis, it should be $1.29, just under $1.30 worth of silver, silver coinage. That would be an ounce of silver. So if you calculate the gold-silver ratio, up until 1933 was 16 to 1. Back in 1792, under the first Coinage Act in 1792, is 15 to 1. They had to readjust it up to 16. A lot of people think that historically, there is, or even now, there's only 8 or 10 times as much silver than gold, and that the natural ratio should be around 8 or 10 to 1. That might be so. But, for example, back in 1980, gold got up to 887.50, silver got up to 50, so the ratio was just below 18. We didn't even get back to 16. So a lot of people say, well, silver was overvalued. It was the Hunt brothers that cornered the market and drove silver to those unimaginable levels, they say. But actually the ratio didn't even get down to 16. From 34 to 64, when there's still silver coinage circulating, in the US, and gold was fixed at $35 an ounce, the ratio was around 27. So you can see they've been keeping this gold-silver ratio manipulated since 1934. And all the problem, of course, started in 1933. And they couldn't keep it at that 27 anymore back in 64. So they just had to take the silver out of circulation and give people copper, nickel, or clad coins that are really tokens. They're not real money. So yes, I would say last year when this ratio got up to almost 130, it was a steal, but it was very hard to get the silver. I was able to get a bit of silver last year when we dropped below 12, but very little. The bullion dealers didn't have much. I was able to get a few coins. I'm sure the big boys like JP Morgan and others were able to buy a lot of physical at that level. And the other thing about silver is that apart from its monetary or investment, function, we have the industrial use, which is the bulk of the use for silver. It's very important. Nowadays, it's not only for the military, for industry, it's also for other sectors like green energy, of course, which is industry, but there are new technologies. So I just want to go through here some of the uses of silver first. This is from Bullion Vault. It says jewelry, of course, we know jewelry. Silver is used for jewelry, for bullion, for investment, for mirrors. Silver has very high reflectivity of light when polished, making it useful for mirrors and related products. Cameras, of course. Older analog cameras use silver. Yes, that use has gone down a lot with digital cameras, of course. Electronics, energy, engines, medicine, novelty explosives, cloud seeding, even in cloud seeding. What about other industrial uses here? This is from physicalgold.com. What do they say? Silver industrial uses and applications. The soft, shiny white metal. Throughout history, silver has had an unbeatable reputation as an ornamental metal used in coins and jewelry throughout the ages. Silver has now evolved as a metal that enjoys great industrial demand. Silver has certain unique properties that make it a favorite for industrial usage across the electronic industry, computers, telecommunications, and pharmaceuticals. Silver evolved to take center stage as an important element widely used in modern innovations. So, I mean, it's amazing. The use of silver in photovoltaic, solar panels. The use of silver is not limited to solar energy. Silver is widely used in control rods that are used to attract neutrons and slow down the rate of fission in a nuclear reactor. The use of silver in medicine. I mean, we can go on and on and on, and it's going to increase the uses for silver because it's such a special metal. I recommend you guys watch Cliff High. He has a YouTube channel. I've been following Cliff High since before 2010. And he's been tracking silver through his analysis. Some people might think that Cliff High is way out there, but I am a contrarian. And Cliff High definitely is a contrarian. He has used language gathering technology through the use of the web bot, he calls, just basically to aggregate data from the internet and make forecasts. And they're forecasts about emotions, about emotional tension in the internet, through the language, analysis of language. And he's been saying since 2015-16, and I used to do summaries of his Alta report, which he stopped doing. But back then he was saying, yes, silver is going to be in high demand. Price of silver is going to go through the moon. I think he had the level of $650. So that's how I've also come to to the realization that silver is not just a monetary metal, but through doing this kind of research, through following Cliff High and others. And so where should the price of silver be now if we are at 16 to 1? Well, it should be at around $106, the $1,700 gold divided by 16, you get $106. So silver is way undervalued. And why do the bullion banks and the big corporations that basically are very close to the bullion banks want to keep silver suppressed, the silver price? Well, because they're greedy. The silver users, they want to keep the price low so they can make more profits. Silver users can be, it's not not the small investor. It's the industrial companies like the Teslas, the car manufacturers, the military industrial complex. And the other thing about silver, the bullion banks and the central banks don't want a very high price either, because it basically says that their fiat currencies are no good, because silver has been money and currency, well, up until the early 70s. I think in Germany and Austria, they were using silver coins until 74. You look at the name for money in many languages, it's silver. Like in Spanish, plata means money. In French, argent means money. Even here in the UK, sterling silver, we call the currency pound sterling. So yes, so they both have like an objective, and it it translates to keeping the price of silver suppressed, and it's been suppressed, I would say, for a very, very long time. As you can see from the gold silver ratio chart here, since the early 80s, it hasn't gone below 30, and I still think it's really high. Does this mean I'm going to get rid of my gold to buy silver? I could do that, but I'd rather just add on to my silver and keep my gold, because silver is still relatively cheap. And I think it's a steal, silver. And there are some, like Cliff High, who think that this gold-silver ratio could even go 1-to-1. And I wouldn't count that out, because, yes, gold has been suppressed as well, but silver has been suppressed even more. So it could go out of whack and even go through 1. Who knows? It would be a real black swan event, I would say, because I don't think even throughout historical times it hasn't been as low as 1-to-1. So I think there's great opportunity in silver, not only the physical but the silver miners as well. I'm not here to tell you which miners to accumulate. That's for you to do your homework. Very easy these days with the internet. One hint that I would give you is look at the funds that hold precious metals miners and see what companies they're holding, and or look at people like King World News, and there are others on YouTube that talk about mining companies like Chris Marcus, for example. So with that, let's look at where the markets are this morning. Last night I was looking at the markets when they opened. Gold opened quite strongly. We went up to 1715 almost. The stock market, the Dow was over 200 points higher. Everything was very bullish, so to speak. Yes, we had the Senate pass that stimulus. Still has to be signed or approved by the House, and then signed by Biden as a law, signed into law. But right now we've come off in gold, which is not surprising, seeing that the LBMA boys are in, the BIS, the Bank of England. It's really frustrating, but the fundamentals and the macro picture are great for gold. I saw a comment saying, well, gold is going to 1,500 because the macro situation is really bad. How can it be bad? I mean, endless debt, endless spending, extending all the programs that were supposed to end about 6 months ago, not only in the US, but the UK. I don't see the macro picture being bad, but maybe this person could tell me why. Anyway, it's 8:36 a.m. So yeah, gold is down now, $5 or just under $5 at 16.95, 60. The low's been 16.94. The high, as I said, 17.14.60. Silver is up still on the day, just about 9 cents, 25.31, but we almost got up to 26. We got up to 25.95. The low has been 25.22. So the Dow future is down 1/3% or 100 points. NASDAQ is down 2% or 250 points. The S&P 500 is down almost 1% or 32 points. The currencies, the pound is down slightly at 138.26. The euro is down 0.2% at 118.88. And the dollar is unchanged versus the yen at 108.43. Versus the yuan, the dollar is up quite strongly. Actually, we're back above 650. It's at 654, up 1/3%. High-grade copper got up to 417 overnight. We're now at 402. So there's something going on here. Maybe it was buy the rumor, sell the fact in terms of the stimulus, but we still have to look at the bond market. So 1 minute. So yeah, the copper now is down 1.3% at 402. WTI crude is at 66.50, up 0.75%. So yeah, the 10-year yield is at 160, so it's up almost 5 basis points. So that's weighing on the stock market and has weighed on gold. Yes, they've been pushing this narrative that higher yields are negative for gold and silver, which really doesn't make sense in the context of things, in the context of stagflation that we have. And why do we have stagflation? Well, because we're seeing rising prices of everything, and we're seeing high unemployment, a slow economy, and it's not going to get better. In the 70s, when the bond market was in a bear market, bonds were called certificates of confiscation in the 70s, and we had the biggest bull market in gold and silver up until then. So yes, this is the narrative of the mainstream of the bullion banks, trying to get people scared from holding gold so they can short cover. As we saw, I made a video about it on Saturday about the short covering. So that's it for the day. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great start of the week. Take care. Bye.